The old plane had been silent for 20 years, forgotten inside a locked hangar where nobody was allowed to enter. People in the city whispered that Hangar 9 was hiding a secret that even the richest CEO wanted buried forever. But one struggling single father walked through those rusty doors, touched the forgotten aircraft, and did something nobody had ever dared to do. He started the plane. And the moment that engine came alive, a 20-year-old mystery began to reveal the truth. Before we continue, if you believe that kindness, second chances, and ordinary people can create extraordinary moments, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Beyond Single Dad. For 20 years, Hangar 9 stood at the edge of a private airport, covered in dust, surrounded by rumors. The massive metal doors had a warning sign that simply said, "Authorized personnel only." Nobody knew exactly why the hangar was locked. They only knew one thing: the order came directly from the CEO of a powerful aviation company, a woman named Valyria Montrose. Valyria was known as one of the most successful business leaders in the country. She built an empire from nothing and became a symbol of intelligence, power, and perfection. But behind her expensive suits and confident smile was a pain she carried quietly every day. Inside Hangar 9 was an old aircraft that represented the happiest and most painful moment of her life. Meanwhile, far away from the world of CEOs and private jets, a man named Corvin Hale was struggling just to survive. Corvin was a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Mira. After losing his wife years earlier, his entire life changed. He stopped chasing dreams and started focusing on one thing: making sure his daughter had food on the table, a warm home, and a reason to smile. Every morning before sunrise, Corvin worked small repair jobs. He fixed machines, repaired engines, and cleaned old equipment at the airport. He was not famous. He was not wealthy. Most people barely noticed him. But Corvin had something rare, a gift for understanding machines. He believed every broken thing had a story. A damaged engine, a rusty vehicle, or an abandoned machine was not useless. It only needed someone patient enough to bring it back to life. One rainy evening, while repairing equipment near the old airport buildings, Corvin noticed Hangar 9. The huge doors were covered with rust. The windows were dark. The place looked like it had been frozen in time. An old worker named Tobias Reed warned him, "Stay away from that place." The CEO personally ordered nobody to enter. Corvin looked at the forgotten hangar and asked, why would someone lock away an entire plane for 20 years? Tobias lowered his voice and said, "Because some memories are harder to face than losing money." That sentence stayed in Corvin's mind. Days passed, but he could not stop thinking about Hangar 9. One afternoon, while doing maintenance work nearby, he found an old key hidden behind a broken storage box. He knew he should report it. He knew he could lose his job. But something inside him told him that the plane inside that hangar was waiting for someone. When Corvin finally opened the doors, a cloud of dust filled the air. Inside was a magnificent aircraft covered in a thick layer of dirt. It looked abandoned, but somehow still beautiful. The old plane had a name painted on its side, Aurora. Corvin slowly walked toward it. He noticed the engine parts, the worn-out controls, and the small signs of care that someone had once given this aircraft. It was not just a plane. It was a memory. For several days, Corvin secretly worked on Aurora. He cleaned the engine, repaired damaged parts, and studied every piece. He was not trying to steal it. He was trying to understand it. Then one night, Mira found him working. She smiled and said, "Dad, are you fixing another broken thing?" Corvin laughed softly and replied, "Maybe. But sometimes broken things just need someone to believe in them." Mira looked at the plane and asked, "Who does it belong to?" Corvin looked at the old aircraft and said, "I think it belongs to someone who lost something important." What Corvin did not know was that Valyria Montrose had been watching. Security cameras inside the hangar had recorded everything. At first, she was furious. Nobody had touched Aurora in 20 years. She immediately drove to the airport, ready to remove Corvin from the property. But when she entered Hangar 9, she stopped. For the first time in 2 decades, someone had cleaned the plane. Someone had cared. Valyria looked at Corvin and asked why he touched the aircraft. Corvin did not make excuses. He simply said, "Because I saw something forgotten. And I thought maybe it deserved another chance." Those words hit Valyria harder than she expected. She walked toward the plane and touched the old metal surface. Then she revealed the truth. Aurora was not just an aircraft. It was the last plane built by her late husband, Adrian Montrose. 20 years ago, Adrian was a brilliant engineer who believed aviation could connect people and change lives. Aurora was his dream project. But before the first official flight, Adrian died in an accident. Valyria could never accept losing him. The plane became a reminder of everything she had lost. So she locked it away. She thought forgetting the plane would make the pain disappear. But it never did. Corvin listened quietly. Then he said something Valyria had not heard in years. Maybe you didn't keep the plane because you were weak. Maybe you kept it because part of you was still hoping the story wasn't over. For the first time in 20 years, Valyria cried. Not as a CEO. Not as a powerful woman. Just as someone who missed the person she loved. Together, Corvin and Valyria decided to restore Aurora. The project brought unexpected changes. Valyria started spending time with Mira, who reminded her that happiness could still exist after loss. Corvin discovered that his skills were worth more than he believed. And Aurora slowly came back to life. The day finally arrived when they prepared to start the engine. People gathered around Hangar 9. Some believed it would fail. Some believed the old aircraft belonged in a museum. But Corvin stood beside the engine, holding his breath. He turned the key. Nothing happened. For a moment, everyone was silent. Then he tried again. A deep sound filled the hangar. The engine moved. The lights flickered. And after 20 years of silence, Aurora roared back to life. Valyria covered her mouth as tears rolled down her face. She was not hearing an engine. She was hearing a memory. She was hearing a dream that had finally returned. That day changed everything. Valyria created a foundation to help struggling mechanics and single parents find opportunities in aviation. She offered Corvin a leadership position in the company, but he never forgot where he came from. He kept repairing machines. He kept teaching young people. And he kept reminding everyone that even forgotten things could have a second chance. Years later, Hangar 9 was no longer a place of sadness. It became a place of hope. A place where people came to learn, create, and believe again. Because sometimes the most valuable things are not the things that are perfect. Sometimes the greatest stories come from the things everyone else gave up on. And sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to care. If this story touched your heart, please support this video by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Beyond Single Dad. Your support helps more inspiring stories reach people who need hope. Before the ending, comment second chances if you believe every person and every dream deserves another opportunity. Because somewhere out there, there is another forgotten door, another hidden dream, and another person waiting for someone to believe in them.